Are we, people? All right. I'll do this one quick because I have been meaning to do 2 lives a week for the past few weeks, and I haven't. I've only been doing one, so I'm going to do my second one now. I'm going to do it about water. Now, this says Bundaberg Ginger Beer, but I use glass bottles for my water, and I'll get to a reason as to why in a sec. But water, is it good for you? Is it healthy for your body? It can be yes and it can be no. On the whole, I think I like to say yes. But there are some, obviously if you're drinking horribly contaminated water that's really, really bad for you, the answer would be no, right? You're probably better to try and, wait off until you can get something clean. The situation that a lot of places are in now and growing up with tap water and what's in tap water is actually pretty baffling, the amount of crap that is put in tap water and how bad that actually can be for you. I don't drink it unless I have to. But my belief is that if you're drinking any form of water, you're better off than drinking no water. Most people live incredibly dehydrated lives. If you're watching this now, it would be a fair chance that you drink less than 1 liter of water a day. If that is the case and you drink less than 1 liter of water a day, or maybe 1.5 liters, let's be generous. There's, I think, 2 people I've met in my training that drink more than that before I've met them. The thing that you got to sort of realize and understand is that your body is 75% water. Okay, so if you were to cut off your arms, your head, and then just have the rest of your body, all of that would be water. All right, now it's obviously wound into the muscles and the blood and the bones and the fats and all that sort of stuff. But water is a massive component, and it's one that most people completely take for granted, completely ignore. A lot of people drink, large amounts of coffee. Coffee dehydrates you like crazy. Generally, if you drink 1 cup of coffee, it's going to pull that much water out of your body. Soft drinks, similar thing. Juice, depending on how you juice it. If you do like cold press juices, which is the method that I personally use, I like doing them reasonably regularly, mainly for nutrients, not so much for hydration. But most of vegetables and fruits will have so much water in them, they actually will hydrate you. But if you're buying bottled stuff from the supermarket that isn't fresh, chances are the nutrient content in it is probably pretty low. And you can often dehydrate yourself more because of the sugar content they add into it and how that can dehydrate you. So, and then look at basic foods, eating all the breads that people eat, all the refined carbohydrates, things like chips, and which I enjoy from time to time. I like them, but it's just very important that you're hydrating yourself before and after those things. So you're not, well, I'm not going to say overindulge, right? Because if I buy a big pack of chips, whatever it is, it doesn't matter what it is for me. I'll buy a big tub of ice cream, I'll buy a big thing of chips, and I'll eat the whole thing in one sitting. I don't really care. So I'm not a fan of eat everything in proportion. I'm just sort of go gun-ho, get it done, and then finish. Now, I'm not saying that's a great way to live, but I do that with everything. I'll do it with my work. I'll do it with my training. I'll do it with whatever. If I commit to something, boom, I'm all in. So I do it with my eating quite often. The thing that I'm more committed to is making sure that I'm drinking large quantities of water a day. Because if 75% of your body is water, right, and you've got all these little cells and all these things in your body that don't work if they don't have water, then what do you think happens when you're living a lifestyle that is pulling all this water from your body and putting nothing back in? And everything you're putting in is trying to force more out, but there's no more that's going to leave because it's got to hang on to it so it can survive. How do you think your body's going to feel? Great. Do you think you'd feel energetic and lively and bubbly and able to do heaps of stuff? Probably not, right? Most of the time, you'll feel lethargic. You'll probably start getting sick. If you look at acid and alkaline balances in the body, hydration is a huge part of that. You'll often gain weight because the body will use fat stores it'll hang on to fat in the body so that it can store liquid. So a lot of people, you hear people say that if they're doing a lot of training physically and they're exhausted, and they've been going to the gym for so long and they just keep training, they're going so hard, it doesn't matter what they do, they cannot lose the weight. You'll find that they're probably not drinking very much water. And I've done this with a few people. They'll come to me and say they've tried everything, right? They've tried everything, which is always a lie, because no, you haven't tried everything. Because if you tried everything, you would have got a result. But if I don't say that to them because it hurts people's feelings. People are, a little bit delicate around this thing. Not to dampen their efforts. I'm not saying they haven't put a good effort in, but it's always a lie. It's never true. So someone tells you that they've tried everything, haven't. But you just got to sort of bear with them. So they've obviously put in some effort. They just don't feel like they're getting any sort of results for their effort, which the frustration I understand. I definitely understand putting in tons of work into something, especially if it's something like losing weight, or for me, putting on weight. That's just my issue. And if you're a person that struggles losing weight, you'll laugh at that. Oh, I wish I had that problem. But it's the insecurities that you feel about losing weight are the same insecurities that I had about gaining it, trying to put on muscle, trying to get bigger. I've got a very fast metabolism, and it's made it very hard to put on size. And being a male and I like to think of myself as a strong, masculine, alpha type figure. If you're really small, it doesn't really fit that mold. So it's always been a tough thing for me to sort of work out, and it is still now incredibly tough for me to put on size, but I'm getting to a size that I'm quite happy with, and it's improving every year. It's just a very slow process, right? So the same insecurities that you feel about losing weight, I feel about putting it on, and I understand the frustration of putting all this effort into losing weight, or for me, gaining weight and not getting results. I mean, like, what the hell is going wrong, right? And not knowing. Often you're missing one simple component. It's not going to be a huge thing, all right? And if you're doing a calorie deficit, meaning that you're consuming and eating less, if you don't know what a calorie deficit is and you think that you're struggling losing weight, you don't know enough, all right? Straight up. You have to be in a calorie deficit to lose weight, meaning that you are eating less calories than you are producing with your body. Now, if you're not very active, most of the times, if you're female, 1,500 will probably keep you about level. When you start going to 1,300 and under, most ladies that I've seen, if they're training 2 or 3 times a week, will start to lose weight reasonably comfortably from there. Again, it's not the same for everyone, just as a general guide. If you're a bloke, it can be different. Usually 2,200, 2,000 is about maintaining. So if you want to be at a deficit, then 1,800 to 1,600 generally drops you down. But I know I've gone off hydration, but here we are. We're talking about weight loss and weight gain. For me personally, if I'm eating less than 2,500 a day, my weight plummets. So I need to be about 2,500 to 3,000 a day for me to actually put on weight. It's a lot of food I've got to eat, right? And if I really want to gain aggressively, then I need to be about 3,500, close to 4,000 is when I've really been able to put on weight. But then eating the right things, making sure that you're still getting high testosterone, a lot of things that you sort of got to learn. But losing weight, the bare bones of it is consume less calories than you produce. That'd be a basic guideline. But if you're not hydrated, it doesn't always work, and your body will hang on to it. So if you've been doing all this work to try and lose weight, and you're like, doesn't matter what I'm doing, it's not working, and you're at a calorie deficit, and you're training, probably your water. So I would suggest that whatever your weight is, if you're, for every 22 kilos, general rule of thumb that I give people, that I got from a guy called, Tyler Tolman, is for every 22 kilos or 40, 45, 46, let's say 50 pounds of body weight that you have, consume 1 liter of water. Okay? So for me, I just as a general rule of thumb, for me, I always aim for 4 liters a day. I don't always hit it, especially in winter. You lose that sense of needing to consume. But if I'm doing training, like I've just trained, then I drank a bit over a liter earlier this morning. I've drank another liter while I'm training. I'll drink this. So this will take me up to 3-ish. I'll have another one before I go to bed. So that'll take me close to the 4, probably just under. And that helps me actually put on weight. So it works both ways, right? But for losing weight, if If you're struggling to lose it and you're not hydrated, it can be really, really tough just because of how the body stores fluids, and it's a survival tool. Okay, so if you can help yourself survive in that survival mechanism by hydrating yourself, you will actually lose weight faster. You will feel better. You will have more energy. You won't get things like headaches and fogginess. Unlikely that you will get that sort of midday sort of slump in energy. Generally, your energy levels stay pretty consistent if you're hydrated. You'll find that you're thinking clearer. You'll find that you're sleeping better. The quality of sleep improves. Mate, the improvements that come just from drinking extra water are insane. Insane. And yet, it's so easy to do, and people don't do it. Baffles me. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put a website in here, www.thewatercure.com, I believe is the website. I strongly suggest, if you're watching this, go and check that out. Have a look at some of the things that Dr. Batman Gettage, I think is his name, have hard to pronounce, but some of his findings around water and hydration and what he discovered in a bunch of experiments that he's done. And from my personal experience, pretty much the same. Being as hydrated as I am is a very big reason why illness doesn't really happen for me. It's not the only one, but it's definitely a big one. 4 liters a day for me, I just don't get sick. I just don't. I'm just always healthy. And it's a great thing. I've always got a lot of energy, more than most people. I'm able to do so much more than what other people are to do. And I'm fine afterwards, most of the time, unless I'm really smashing myself. Like at the moment, physically, I'm training an enormous amount, doing a lot, some of the most amount of training I've ever done. And then all this work that I'm doing as well. It's tough. And I'm tired now, but I've still got the energy to come on and do this. I'm a bit excited about doing it, to be honest. I wasn't when I started, but I am now. So look, it's I think water is absolutely essential. The quality of water is really important. I strongly recommend getting alkalized water. You can get a really simple filter. It doesn't have to be top of the range, but if you can get a distiller is also really good. Get a distiller. Drink your water out of glass or stainless steel is best. Out of plastic, not so much, because you get the chemical stuff from the plastic will seep into the bottle, and you'll be slowly consuming that. And I know it's not a lot, but over a long period of time, that stuff builds up. In tap water, if you're drinking tap water, there's a lot of different chemicals and heavy metals. Chlorine is not good for your body. It's a neurotoxin, and it's bad for you. It's put in water to kill a lot of bad bacteria. It kills a lot of good stuff as well, and it's bad for your body. You're consuming chlorine, not good. So you want a filter that pulls out chlorine, okay? Fluoride, again, another neurotoxin. You don't want it. Don't drink it. Get toothpaste that doesn't use it. You're going to feel a mile better. Don't touch it. Get a filter that's going to pull that from it. If you are out of tap water again, you'll get heavy metals. You need a filter that's going to pull heavy metals. And then you can, if you want, although I don't so much worry about this anymore, if you get a filter that adds minerals back in, good minerals that water should have, you can just do a super quick search. That can be really useful. But this is something that I learned from a guy called Don Tolman, who was Tyler Tolman's dad, right? Is Tyler Tolman's dad. And he's a very big health guy. You can do a quick search on him. He's got these books. I'll show you. They're phenomenal. They're very alternative. So you won't find these or get this information from a doctor because he hates the medical profession. But these ones, right? So they're called the Pharmacist Desk Reference. And he teaches some phenomenal stuff, not only about health, hydration, fasting, diets, food, and all those sorts of things that are incredible. I'll put his name in here. Don Tolman. Strongly suggest going and checking him up too. But he teaches you how to actually learn properly, because there's ways that the memory and the mind work that are really, really powerful, and most people don't understand it and there's some really cool references in there. That's a little off the topic, but water. So what I learned from him is he went to a university. Was it Stanford? I think it was Stanford. And he did this experiment where he distilled the water. So distilling the water gets rid of everything. It gets rid of all the good stuff, all the bad stuff out of the water. It's like dead water. It's like there's nothing in there. Right? So he's distilled the water. And then what they did is they put it in this big glass. That's why I drink glass now. Big glass jar. And they put it in sunlight. In 1 hour, that water, without having anything added in it, it was in sunlight, in a glass jar, sealed. In 1 hour, that water had all the nutrients that the highest quality water would have is if you got it from a spring or as if you got it out of freshwater stream, or so the phosphorus, the calcium, the everything. It came because of how, and it, to be honest, if you think about it logically, it makes a lot of sense, really. Sounds weird the first time you hear it, but you think about how plants work and how gardens work and how sunlight grows everything. Things don't live without sunlight, right? Everything then needs water to grow. It makes sense to me, anyways, that sunlight into water would help develop these minerals and things that are necessary for life. To me, that makes sense. I love observing gardens. I love observing nature, and that made sense to me. So that's what I do with my water now. I don't worry so much about getting filters to add stuff back in. I put it in glasses, and I sit them on the window sill. So they're not here, but that's in my office. Got crap over. I sit them there in the sunlight. They get sunlight every single day, and then I drink them. And look, for me, I'm just speaking anecdotally, and for everyone that I've recommended, drinking more water is not going to be a bad thing. Oh my God, I had one moron. This guy, he told me then 2 liters of water a day because he was a diabetic. Idiot, right? Stupid, because his doctor gave him a recommendation. Lying to me, for one. No doctor would ever say that because they'd be a moron if they did. What was happening here, he was trying to claim that it was going to lower his blood sugar levels or some crap. It's not going to. So long as you're not drinking in excess of 1 liter an hour, which means you can drink 24 liters a day, your liver can only process 1 liter an hour. I think it was a liver. Yeah, 1 liter an hour. If you're drinking more than that, you can get ill effects, like too much of anything, right? So 4 liters a day is fine for pretty much any person on the planet. Just space it out, okay? Drink 500 mils an hour, 8 hours, boom, you don't have to worry about drinking it. It works, it's safe, it's good for you. And if you're worried about water having ill effects on your health, I'd suggest having a look at the ingredients labels of some of the other stuff that you drink. I mean, even this, if I looked at the ingredients stuff of this, there's stuff in here. Carbonated wood, cane sugar, acidic, that's going to kill me. Ginger root, I don't know what it is. Citric acid, that's bad for you. Yeast can be bad for you depending on what it is. Preservatives, 202, 201, they're bad. Antioxidant, ascorbic acid, so more acid again. There's like a lot of bad stuff in there. Not super bad, but a lot of not good stuff in there. Way worse if it was ginger beer. It's not ginger beer anymore, it's water. Way worse than anything water's ever going to do to me. If your concern is really, and you're really worried that drinking too much water is going to have an ill effect on your health, then I'd say there's bigger issues than the water that you're drinking. But look, I'd suggest trying it. If you think it's going to be something, or if it's something that you haven't tried, just do it. Like, do it for a week. If you don't like it after a week, go back to drinking 1 liter of water a day. It's cool. Try 1 liter of water for every 22 kilos of body weight is the recommendation, and it's what I use, and it's what works really well. If you're overweight, and don't lie to yourself about being overweight too. If you're looking to lose it, be honest. And just be like, cool, I'm overweight, I'm not happy, I want to change this, and change it. If you are overweight, then I'd suggest drinking a little bit more because of that factor of how the body's fat cells will store water. If you can get rid of it by hydrating faster, you'll find that you drop the weight really quick. Okay, it just happens. It's phenomenal. So long as you're doing the other things well. If you're sitting there eating 1 liter or a couple of liters of ice cream a day, and eating donuts and having burgers and McDonald's and KFC and all this sort of crap, and thinking, oh, I'm doing all the training, I'm eating less calories. No, you're not. You're eating crap. You're doing bad. You're not doing the right stuff. All right. There are multiple things that need to be in place, but consuming less calories and being hydrated is really, really important for losing your weight. Water is an absolute pillar of health. If you don't have water in your life, you're going to have a lesser quality of life because of it. Drink water, your life will improve dramatically. I'm going to leave it there, and I'll talk to you next time. See you guys.